Now ahead of double game week 33 and with many managers hitting that free hit chip, I thought I'd take a look at what AI has to offer and see what team it can build for this double game week. Now, of course, before we head into today's video, we are trying to hit 13,000 subscribers before the end of the season. We are ridiculously close to doing that. So, of course, if you do want to help the channel out, make sure you're liking, subscribing, and, of course, getting your comments in. Looking at double game week 33 then, if you are on a free hit, of course, you are going to be looking at the double game week fixtures. And the teams that are going to be doubling are Manchester City, Aston Villa, Arsenal, and Crystal Palace. On paper, it does seem like Arsenal probably have the best double here, with of course Ipswich away on the Sunday. Then they do have Crystal Palace at home on the Wednesday, who obviously have been going through a few difficulties in recent weeks. So, you know, pretty good team to obviously be investing in. Of course, their big problem, though, is going to be rotation and how is that going to impact certain players' minutes. I'm, of course, looking at Bukayo Saka as one of those names. And I think the AI is probably going to pick up on that as well, with the lack of minutes that he has seen in recent weeks and the fact that the Fantasy Football Hub prediction kind of points tool doesn't have him too high over double game week 33, so he might potentially not make it in this team. Obviously, City with Villa and Everton, again, a pretty nice double for a team that have started to pick up some decent form. Obviously, they've got kind of a new system that they've been using over the past few weeks. It really did look great against Crystal Palace, and they definitely were some very exciting players. So I want to see if the AI has, of course, picked up on those ahead of the week as well. Villa, probably a really big double game week for them in terms of their Champions League qualification for next season. Obviously, playing Newcastle and Manchester City, two teams that will, of course, be battling it out for them for those Champions League positions heading into next season. So you do feel like both of those games are going to be super competitive. However, again, trying to call minutes on certain players for Aston Villa, again, is going to be really difficult with, of course, the Champions League fixture taking place tonight. And, of course, recording that before that fixture has kicked off. In terms then of the predicted points heading into game week 33 from Fantasy Football Hub, Marmoush obviously leads the top of the list by 10.4. An interesting second place with Martinelli, who I don't think anybody's kind of picked Martinelli for years, to be honest. I've not seen him in any sides. I've not really seen him mentioned by any content creators. So maybe I'm going to have to do a little bit of research after this video and see why Martinelli is so high on those predicted points. Is it maybe a glitch that the Fantasy Football Hub algorithm has got? Or maybe is there something in there that we're all currently not really looking at, and maybe he should be one of those players that, of course, we do want to potentially take a look at. Mateta's up there, but I do think his recent early substitutions would definitely maybe make me reconsider, especially if there's another one on Wednesday night after the Newcastle Crystal Palace game. Then you've, of course, got a swarm of Arsenal players, and no real surprise there, to be honest. Saliba, Kivior, Saka, who we spoke about, you probably would expect if his minutes were more secure, probably would top this list, but with them being a little bit iffy at the moment, that is probably where he is. Then you obviously start to filter down. You've got, you know, Eze's, you've got your Sars in there. I definitely think there'll be two players that, of course, I would be personally looking at for this week. I think the AI will probably be looking at as well. Gvardiol going to be one of the top picks for defenders from Manchester City as well to also get your teeth into. And with Edison's injury or injury doubts heading into this fixture, he probably would be one player I actually probably would look to avoid. So those are the predicted points and, of course, the fixtures heading into double game week 33. Now let's go and see what the AI has got to offer. Now, wasting no time, let's get into the AI's free hit draft then for double game week 33. Let's first off start off with our defenders and goalkeeper. It has gone for Martinez, obviously not the easiest double, and I definitely think, you know, probably going to be 0 clean sheets across this double game week for Aston Villa. But of course, with them having triple Arsenal and triple City without this draft, Martinez was probably the next best option for the AI to select. He's not a bad goalkeeper. He probably will score all right and obviously doesn't eat up one of those City or, of course, Arsenal spots in terms of defensive fixtures, who, of course, probably do have the better of the two double game weeks. So I think the goalkeeper is kind of one of those where I think Martinez is probably just the AI. It's used up all the other slots. It's looked what it wants to go with, and it's gone with Martinez. I don't mind that as a goalkeeper pick. Interestingly, it has gone for the double Arsenal defensive route. It's gone for William Saliba, and it has gone for Kivior. We saw on the predicted points, both of these guys really fancied over the course of the double game week. Of course, Arsenal have been one of the best sides for XG conceded this season. That trend has kind of been consistent for around 2 to 3 seasons now as well. Even with Gabriel injured, Kivior has definitely slotted in, and I do still believe he is probably going to be the first choice centre, well, the second choice centre back, shall we say, pairing William Saliba. Obviously there is Calafiori back, Timber's back, Ben White's back. These are the players that could, of course, play within the centre-back positions, but I do believe Mikel Arteta's strongest two at the back is going to be William Saliba and Kivior for me, in my personal opinion. It also was something that I spoke about in the transfer targets video, potentially going for that double Arsenal defence rather than getting Saka within my team and maybe going up for a KDB. So it's very interesting that the AI is also thinking down this route, and maybe suggests that I am potentially onto something here. The final pick is going to be Gvardiol. No real complaints with that one, to be honest. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. It is interesting that the AI has selected Diaz on the bench and not put him in the starting 11, and then maybe not picked Ortega, but maybe because it doesn't know who's going to be the City first choice goalkeeper across this double game weeks, it has just probably gone down the safer route and picked Ruben Diaz and Gvardiol. The reason that I probably would still select Gvardiol ahead of Ruben Diaz despite the price difference is the fact that there is still that potential that Ruben Diaz could magically get placed back at left centre-back. It would not surprise me if Pep just has a mad one day and just decides, yeah, that's going to be the move. We're going to have him back at left back. But I think obviously O'Reilly has been doing exceptionally well within that position, got himself a goal at the weekend. But that is then one less defender in terms of FPL players that you have to worry about if, you know, it's a tight game, they get a 1-0 win. It is only probably going to be between 3 defenders for that kind of bonus points metric, and you do feel with Gvardiol being a lot more of the active of the defenders, he probably has a higher proportional chance of doing that. We saw that a few game weeks ago where they won, I think it was 1 or 2-0. Gvardiol picked up all 3 bonus points as well over Ruben Diaz, but I also like Ruben Diaz as a shout if, of course, budget is tight for your side. And then finally on the bench is going to be Connor Bradley. I definitely think he's going to be a very popular pick for just every kind of manager over the next few weeks. Of course, Liverpool, one of the best sides defensively this season, again leading the charts for XG conceded. They've got some okay fixtures to end the season. Of course, no double game weeks, but he is playing in that right back position, and you do feel like this is probably his time to shine with, of course, Trent Alexander-Arnold leaving the club in the summer, or more than likely leaving the club in the summer. You do feel like this is going to be the point where he has to step up to that mark and prove to Slot that he is going to be the first choice right back within the side. So you do feel he should, or be hoping to have a pretty exceptional end to the season. Moving on then into the midfield, I spoke about Martinelli. It had him as the second predicted for points over this double game week. I've done a little bit of digging, and genuinely, I can't see a reason why the AI has done this. His minutes over the past few weeks have been very sporadic. Only 1 goal involvement in his past 7 game weeks. And if you look at his overall goal contributions for the season, it's 10. 6 goals, 4 assists. There's nothing mind-blowing here, and I don't understand why the AI is so hot on him. Maybe an Arsenal fan can obviously provide some sort of perspective on this, but I think if the AI was to be a little bit smarter, it could have, of course, just drop Ruben Diaz down on the bench, maybe drop, you know, the goalkeeper and just play Areola and try and get Saka in here. I really don't understand the pick of Martinelli, to be honest. For me, maybe someone can explain it in the comments, but I'm personally just not seeing it, and I think the AI has had a little bit of a honker here. Then it has selected Saw and Eze. Now for me personally, I would only have one or the other. I think Munoz is more important than having Saw or Eze, in my opinion. If you looked at the heat map and the shot projection chart that was kind of floating around on the FPL community over the past few days, it is unbelievable that this guy is a defender within the game. He's getting off shots that he should not be getting off. He could have very easily had an assist at the weekend in the Manchester City game as well. I just feel he's better than both Sarr and Eze, and would definitely go in my kind of free hit draft if I was on one this week ahead of both Sarr and Eze. If I was to pick between the two, I probably would go Sarr as well. Eze coming off with a little bit of an injury potentially at the weekend. Didn't look great, and he's obviously not got a great injury record either. So I probably would select Sarr. He's probably going to be the pick I would go for. Mohamed Salah still makes it in here, despite, of course, no double game week for him, but it is an absolutely fantastic fixture. And if you're really not keen on a double game week player, of course, he could still be a great captaincy option. It doesn't surprise me that the AI has still managed to crawl Mohamed Salah in here. It's a great fixture. It's one that he definitely could match a lot of double game week players on as well, because of the way that Leicester are playing at the moment. Like I said, one of the worst sides for XG conceded. They're not scoring lots of goals either at the moment. They're kind of just accepting relegation, and you do feel that they definitely could be one of those teams that could get a little bit of a battering this week, and you could see some Liverpool players that only have the single game week actually outscore the double game week players as well. So that's kind of what I'm thinking as well, and I think the AI is probably in similar cahoots with me on that one. The final one is a player I'm also looking to get into my team for this double game week. It is going to be Morgan Rogers. I think he's a fantastic pick ahead of Rashford, Asensio, Marlon, all of those other players for me personally. The price point, the minutes, they're all there. Definitely a pick I would be looking at as well. Let's finish up then. Let's take a look at the free forwards that it has selected. Now, I think on here we've got two potential issues with the two forwards. So we'll start off with the positive player, and that is going to be Marmoush. I think, yeah, he should be in everybody's free hit draft heading into game week 33. The AI is also captaining him. I don't mind that. I think it's a pretty decent captain shout, to be honest. His data's been improving, his per 90 data. That was something I was a little bit worried about earlier when he did join. I expected it to be a little bit higher. It started to even itself out now. Of course, his goal involvements have been really good. He's obviously the main man up front. His minutes seem, again, very, very secure. He is also top on the Fantasy Football Hub predicted points tool heading into game week 33 as well. And that is why the AI has selected him as his captain. Whether or not you want to go down that route is a different story. I do feel it probably is a toss-up between him or Saka heading into this week. And I do feel like with Saka's minutes being a little bit more dicey, I probably would also lean for this route. Watkins isn't playing in Villa's Champions League game tonight. He's not starting. Marcus Rashford is back within the number 9. And I just don't think I could trust a player for 8.9 million that, for me, I know he's got a double, but I just don't think I could trust his minutes, to be honest. They don't seem secure at all. So I probably would maybe be looking for a cheaper forward. And like I said, probably play Rodgers ahead of him or look to upgrade Martinelli to Saka for me personally. I just think this is a little bit of a strange one from the AI. I just don't think Watkins is that guy this season. I don't think he's a decent FPL option heading into double game week 33. And same with Mateta. If those minutes continue to be an issue, especially after their double game week game in game week 32, he probably also would be a player I would be looking to avoid on my free hit draft. I think I'd just save myself the headaches. I don't see Palace scoring away at the Emirates. I think the Bournemouth game is going to be extremely difficult as well. I actually don't think I can see Palace winning either of these games, to be honest. If Mateta's minutes aren't there, again, could be another player that I probably would be looking to avoid heading into this double game week. That was the AI's team ahead of game week 33. Let me know what you think of it down in the comment section below. And of course, if you've got any questions about your team, get them in, as we'll try to answer as many as we possibly can. But thank you for watching today, ladies and gentlemen, and good luck in double game week 33.